Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Dublin and I'm back for another Eurovision pre-party review. 27 of the Eurovision 2023 acts performed and the Madrid Pre-Party last weekend. I'm going to give you my review of the performances, who did awesome, who did less awesome, and how this could affect the competition. So let's kiki. Okay, I'll leave some timestamps in the progress bar by the country name. So keep an eye out, I am currently working on a video where I talk about all the potential winners of Eurovision. I'll hopefully have that video out tomorrow or the day after. I'm not going to review all 27 performances in full because I already covered some of them in my Barcelona Pre-Party review, so I'm going to be focusing more on the new ones. In general, I thought the performances were pretty good. A lot of people seem to be having in-ear mic issues, would just seem to be like struggling vocally. I definitely feel like anyone who had a quieter backing track seemed to have an advantage because they could hear themselves more clearly. It also kind of filtered out who were the more experienced performers and who was maybe less confident or less competent technically at singing. Now, obviously we need to keep in mind, this is a pre-party, this is not the official competition. In actual Eurovision, acoustics will be great, they'll have lots of sound checks, they'll be able to make sure they can hear themselves really clearly, so we need to take it with a pinch of salt. But it did kind of show who are the much more stronger performers who were able to work through that. So let's first focus on some of the new acts. Armenia. Really impressive. I thought she was great. A little bit nervous at the start. She was kind of looking down at the ground, but I liked her styling. She looked absolutely gorgeous. She's very petite. She reminds me a little bit of Ariana Grande, but she performed very well. I thought she was actually strongest in the rap part. She seemed the most confident. She was getting kind of into it and kind of gritty. I tend to think of rap as something that's like very sink or swim. She's a swimmer. She's not a sinker. She does carry it off. I think it works because she's very talented, plus she wrote the song herself, so it feels quite authentic when she's delivering it. She had great energy, she had great confidence and poise. I think she'll only get better. She's quite young, so more experience will help her. I'm very confident that this will still qualify from the second slot. In semi-final number 2, she's kind of like a ballad rap, so she's gonna be a little bit different from Lithuania and Estonia, which are the other ballads, which are also both female. I think she'll stand out from that. I think it would be good as well if 3 ballads qualified from the second semi, because it would quite like instantly dispel any concern that countries have that ballads can't make it. And this is the second time in a row now that Armenia have sent a really talented singer-songwriter who've written their own songs, got the full package. I feel like they're really great at their talent finding. Rosalind as well, super talented. I just saw her concert dates in America. She's got like so many concerts around America. She's supporting Ed Sheeran, and then she's doing a couple of shows on her own as well. She's doing really well. So this is the first time I'd seen Switzerland perform. I really liked his staging. It was quite unexpected. He had a sleeveless top on. It wasn't as like serious and sad as I was expecting. It was kind of an interesting juxtaposition with the song. I thought he was very good vocally. A little bit iffy at the start, but then towards the end he built up a lot better. I'm a big fan of these people who've been on The Voice and X Factor being Eurovision contestants, because in my experience they're very good live. Those kind of shows filter out people who aren't good live fundamentally, because it's a performance show. So if they aren't good performing, they get kicked out pretty early. Måneskin came from X Factor, Brooke came from The Voice. There's loads of them, I'm not going to list everyone. I really liked them in the competition. So he won The Voice Switzerland. You could see he's just very comfortable on stage. I'm hoping that he gets a little bit of choreography now. You wouldn't expect slow ballad songs to need choreography, but they really do, because otherwise it can look awkward. He had his hand here a lot and it just looked a tiny bit uncomfortable. So this year, Sasha Jean-Baptiste is doing Switzerland staging. That she's got a relationship with him. She does their staging a lot. Last year with Marius Bear, she gave him choreography. He did a lot of stuff with his arms like this and coming up. I'd like to see them just give him something to do with his hands so that it doesn't look too awkward. I think in the actual performance they're gonna have 4 dancers. So I wonder, are they gonna have 2 guys on drums maybe in the back, 2 people like doing some contemporary dance or something? I think that's gonna give it a little bit more like life and excitement. I think everyone's gonna be probably a little bit nervous this year about just having one person standing on their own on the stage with a ballad. I'm pretty sure Estonia is gonna do that, but other than that, I don't think anyone else is going to risk it. I think in people's heads, they're like, Televote doesn't like one person on their own on the stage. In my estimates, this went up a little bit in terms of its qualification chances. Okay, now let's talk about one of the big new people, and that was Austria. This is the Austria. This is the first time we'd see them. They were meant to perform in, I think it was Barcelona Pre-Party, but Selena was sick. So this was their first live performance and it was so good. Huge relief. I think because of what happened last year with Austria, a lot of people were worried, but these girls are really, really good. They wore the exact same costumes that they wear at the end of the music video, the black and the white. I really like it. This is kind of like good and evil almost. They sounded really good. Their harmonies were excellent. They did their little dance. It was so much relief watching it. I felt like there's this like buzz of happiness come over me because yeah, I was slightly concerned that the live might drag this down. It wasn't. It was really, really great. I think this can possibly win the second semi-final and do some real damage in the televote. My brother went to a viewing party. He said that this song won by a landslide with kind of semi-casual fans. I just think that this is going to do really, really well with the mainstream because it's a great song, but it's also funny. It's got that wink wink in it. And then if they bring great visuals as well, I'm hoping they're going to do lots of tricks, like they'll pop some mustaches on and they'll have the middle-aged men dancers that they had in the boardroom in the music video. I think that'd be really, really fun and different and help it really, really stand out. But yeah, I'm so happy for them. This is definitely going to qualify. Any remote possibility of doubt I had is just completely gone. There's great energy on the stage, maybe just like a little bit more confident. I think the fact that their performance was received so well will help their confidence going forward anyway. Okay, let's talk about Lazara representing France. She was also having in-ear problems. Very early on in the performance, she took her earpiece out. She sounded a little bit iffy at the start. I was actually kind of worried. I was watching it like, oh crap, is she terrible live? She got much, much better towards the end. And then after the song was completed, she did like a sing-along with the audience. And she sounded absolutely perfect. So it was definitely in-ear issues for her. I loved her styling. She had this very elegant Mademoiselle demure outfit on. Not the exact same as the music video, but quite similar. Really, really, really pretty. I'm looking forward to seeing what they do for the final staging. But yeah, had those initial worries, but they were gone by the end. Great confidence, great sexiness on the stage. Yeah, this is gonna be good. First time seeing Australia as well, another internal selection. These guys are so talented, really experienced, fantastic performers. Great contrast between Australia and Czechia, because if you watch the Australia performance, everyone is like totally and utterly in the moment. Actually, it's a good example for everyone, not just the other bands. Totally absorbed in the performance. If you look at every single person on stage, they're 100% in the moment. They totally believe what they're selling. They're rocking out. They're so entertaining to watch. Often when you see some bands, you might like be focusing on the main singer. With this one, I was really looking at everybody because I thought everyone's performance was so like cool and fun, like really passionate. And it just came across, they're just so seasoned. I think they're gonna be a fantastic closer to the second semi-final. Oh, they just know what they're doing. You just feel so relaxed when you see these really confident people on stage. You just relax into the moment because you're not worried like, oh, is this gonna go badly? Oh no, I'm panicking. And I wish I was going to semi-final 2 so I could see them. I don't have semi-final 2 tickets. Again, this was also the first time that I saw Croatia perform live in a pre-party. I thought the lead vocals were pretty good. Overall though, the 4 guys behind, they're doing kind of like their Macarena dance. It was a little bit out of sync. And already the moves look a tiny bit basic and simple. So looking so simple and then also being out of sync, it just looked a little bit amateurish, which is this thing I think they need to steer away from. They don't want to give anyone any impression that this is not a serious song. Having people out of sync dancing does look like they're not taking it too seriously or that it's unrehearsed. So they just need to be a little bit careful with that. But there was some pretty shocking imagery in this. There's one bit when they were convulsing on the ground, and then towards the end they all ripped their tops off and they had these like mesh things where you could see their bodies, and then they turned around and they had a rose in their butt. Lots of shocking things. We don't know yet what has been okayed from the EBU that they're allowed to do on stage. They need to make sure though that it is also cleaned up. So yeah, there were good things here. I hope they don't do this thing where the 5 of them are in the line for the verse. I think it looks a little bit flat. I hope that they've got the guys doing something maybe a little bit more dynamic, still doing the choreography but maybe in different positions, like one person's on top of a tractor, one person's down here, just giving it like a more artistic feel instead of like this like kind of flat. Okay, let's go to Malta now. This was like a big shocker for me, Malta. I did appreciate the song, I thought it was good, but while I was watching it, I was like, wow, this really reminds me of Sunstroke Project Hey Mama, which came third in the televote in 2017. And I remember people sleeping on that song a lot. It got 0 points in the OGAE fan poll, which is the official fan club vote that's done before rehearsals. I'm not saying Malta's definitely going to do that, but I was really getting those vibes. The sax element is really, really fun. I'm not just saying it's a comparison because of the sax element, it's the whole feeling of this kind of funky, fun, carefree, kind of lovable performance. The three of them are great. They've got great energy. They're really confident. They're giving everything. One thing I'll say about Sunstroke Project Hey Mama was that performance was actually unexpectedly slick. Like everything was very choreographed. These beautiful lines that they made the whole time. Great camera angles. They had these fantastic graphics in the background. Great like symmetry with the three bridesmaid girls. So the whole performance was actually incredibly well choreographed. I hope that Malta brings something similar, bringing the fun and chaos, but actually the whole fun is quite organized, but doing it in a way that we don't realize it. It also reminded me a little bit though of Citizieni from Latvia last year, who didn't qualify, didn't come top 10 with the jury or the televote. Their jury score was actually higher. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Is it gonna be a Hey Mama? Is it gonna be a Citizieni? I think it's gonna come down to the staging and how clever they are. Keep in mind Citizieni were second in the running order as well, same as Malta. I think Malta definitely has a chance now. I think sometimes we can get so much into our bubble because there's certain songs that Eurofans enjoy more than the mainstream. This song for me seems like the mainstreamiest, the most mainstreamy song in the competition, and I think actually could surprise. I think I'm going to pull up into a borderline yes. I haven't decided who I'm kicking out yet. That might come later in this video. Luke White, a YouTube reactor, he did a poll of like just normal people on the street in the UK, and Malta won. They get the most points. So like it's obviously a small sample size, but pretty surprising when we go outside the bubble that things can be really, really different. We see this every year. Moldova coming second in the televote last year as well. I'm keeping my eye on this one. Another person I haven't talked about before is Czechia. So I saw their pre-performance in Warsaw. It wasn't officially televised. There were a couple of videos up. So this is the second time I'd seen them. I thought the performance in Warsaw was not good. It looked very flat, very uncomfortable, looked a bit too amateurish. This was much improved. Now, I'm not saying it's completely there. I still have a slight concern that this can be a shock non-qualifier, but it was definitely better. The lead singer is fantastic. She's got great energy, great confidence. She just doesn't seem to feel nervous, and she's got a great voice. The concern is that the five of them behind at moments tended to look awkward, especially in Poland. Particularly the keyboardist and the guitarist were kind of just standing there like a frozen cod, and they were much more relaxed and dancing. I'm not sure if they had a couple of drinks before Madrid, but if that's working, do it. I'm not saying turn to alcohol when you're feeling nervous, but even just watching back themselves in Madrid, looking great and comfortable and swaying, that'll give them confidence. Okay, I can do that. Even when I'm sober, I could get much more into the song. Their costumes looked more cohesive. So yeah, I feel like there's improvement here, and I'm glad that they're doing the pre-parties because I feel like it's exposed some really obvious flaws that they can continue working on. And with each pre-party, I'm expecting them to get better and better. I presume they're going to London as well. So hopefully now we can see this like constant improvement. They've got a little bit of choreography where they go like dolls. It's okay. They also showed us some of the choreography at the end. They stood together and did the choreography with the audience. Thought that choreography was a little bit better. Yeah, the doll stuff, it looks a little bit like NSYNC kind of bubblegum pop music video. I know that they are making reference to being dolls in the song. I'm still expecting that they're going to have much higher costumes and visuals for the final. So I still think that this is a very pared down performance that they're doing for the pre-parties. That's a very normal thing to do. I'm not going to be officially worried until I see a bad rehearsal. This is not a rehearsal, it's a pre-party. Now at this point I want to talk about one of the acts who isn't one of the official 27 acts this year, and that was Konstrakta, and I want to talk about her for a very specific reason. She did a performance of Incorpore Sana, which I just thought was really, really excellent. The thing I loved it was she took her concept from Pesma za Eurovision and she just did like a mini edited down version of it. So instead of having like the four people around her, she just had Luke Black from Serbia, dressed in the kind of like priest costume. She had another girl come in to be her sitting down. So it was just the three of them. So it was like a very smaller version of what actually happened at Eurovision. Really effective though. I love the way she was able to edit the ideas down into a smaller component so that it still felt like we got some of the visual elements. I felt that was something that was really lacking in this pre-party and some of the other pre-parties, is people able to take their visual concept as well and just give us like a snack version of it, a mini treat version. And I think that she actually did that the best out of everyone there. Now, maybe the other acts don't want to give away what their staging is, but if you do a mini version of it, you're not really giving away too many secrets. And a lot of these people have already been in national finals, so people have a pretty large idea what they're going to go for visually. Like Pasha, I think, has actually done a good job of that himself. He's got the really nice styling, he's got the flutist with him, and they're doing the interaction on stages. So that's someone else who's done like a good mini version. First time as well seeing Luke Black from Serbia. So we know in the past that Luke Black, for example, has done performances on Serbian morning TV shows, and he doesn't take them too seriously. He just plays around. It's like a fun thing for him. That's like his kind of like very playful personality. I feel like this was not like a super serious performance as well. He was probably a little bit drunk. He was definitely playing around with the song and experimenting a little bit. At one point he got Konstrakta to come on the stage and give him a lobster, which he used as a telephone, and he was dialing it. They said, "Hello, game over, bitch."
Hello, game over, bitch.
But yeah, the vocals sounded fine. We've already seen him perform at Pesmaza Eurovision. I'm going to base what I think is going to happen in Eurovision off of that. Keep in mind now, a lot of these people who are performing for the first time were internal selections. France, Netherlands, Armenia, Switzerland. So this is the first time we'd seen them ever do anything live. Whereas with Luke, we already know he's got a good performance in the bank, so he probably could feel a little bit looser that he could just do what he wanted. If this was his first performance and it was an internal selection, yeah, I think this would have gone down really, really badly. But the context is really important, that he's already done 2 very good live performances. We know already what he's going for. He's going to focus more on the vocals, obviously, when he's doing the actual show, as opposed to when he's doing a drunken pre-party. Yeah, I'm not reading into this too much like, oh my God, this is a disaster, Luke's not going to qualify anymore. He would not qualify if he did that type of performance at Eurovision, but he's not going to. Okay, this is also my first time seeing Denmark. Riley. Now this wasn't good. First of all, let's start with a couple of positives. I really like him. I think he's got great styling, great confidence on the stage. I love his moves. He's really good at tapping into like giving like a very young, fresh feel, very TikTok appeal. So I feel like he's got his finger on the pulse of what's current. But yeah, vocally he just struggled from like the very first to the very last note. There was like almost no break. Particularly the verses, and actually in the chorus he was a bit better, but yeah, the verses were really strained. It sounds like the song is too high for him. He's not able to reach it. Kind of gets there, but it just sounds like it's really damaging his voice. I felt like the crowd was not massively getting into it either, because it felt a little bit uncomfortable. So it depends what the acoustic's going to be like. Presumably in Liverpool, he'll have a lot more support. If he does vocals like that in Liverpool, he's definitely not qualifying. Denmark are apparently bringing something quite big this year. I wonder how many dancers they're going to have on stage, because I feel like he needs some vocal support. I feel like they should maybe use 2 people to support him in the back, maybe have then him on stage with 3 dancers. That could work, but they need to really manage this vocal aspect because it was very far off okay. But yeah, the visual aspect and him I think are good. Okay, first time seeing Karja from Finland. He was amazing. Totally electric performer. The crowd were going absolutely crazy. He didn't have anything, he just had his green bolero on, no other props or anything like that. He had fantastic energy moving from one side of the stage to the other, getting the crowd involved, getting everyone jumping. He's just going to be really, really great. I think he's such a fantastic performer. He loves the song, written it himself. He totally believes in it. I think this is a winning package. I really do think that he's got that X factor in the song, in the person. He didn't just meet my expectations, he exceeded them a little bit as well, which I think is really necessary if you're going to be a potential winner. Now let's go to Sweden. Loreen singing Tattoo. Obviously I saw a Melody Festival. but this is the first time I've seen her in a pre-party. I've said in the past, I think the staging is spectacular. She's spectacular. The song is a bit medium. I still hold on. She is an absolutely incredible performer. Her voice is fantastic. Her energy, this confidence, this soft safeness that she makes you feel. Got a great love and interaction with the fans. Yeah, without the staging though, it kind of exposed the song a little bit for me. Obviously, she wasn't able to do any of the LED tricks or anything like that. It was just her on her own. She can hold herself on her own because she's so great, but it does kind of expose that the song is just not a winning song in my opinion. It's good, it's decent, but it's just not that like great new something that tends to win in recent years. But yeah, love her. She's got a real incredible technical ability that's just really impressive. Funny thing that happened at the end, she did Tattoo first and then she did Euphoria. At the end of Euphoria, she was talking to the crowd and they'd left the, what's that thing that Cher had? They left the auto-tune on and she was like, she sounded like a robot. I'll leave a clip of it here.
Madrid, thank you. I love you. I love you.
So that was kind of funny, but that was after Euphoria. So she used it for Euphoria. She didn't use it for Tattoo, and her vocals in Tattoo sounded excellent. Okay, and the final new person for me was Netherlands, Mia and Dion. Now look, this wasn't great. They both sounded good when they're in their verses, in the low registers, but as soon as they went up into the higher notes, oh, they almost hit none of their higher notes. Their harmonies were okay, they weren't great, but yeah, look, this was a little bit of a bummer performance. I was hoping that we would get some idea of what the story staging would be, because this isn't a like love duet. They're not singing about their love for each other, which is kind of what you would normally expect for a male-female duet. It's the most common theme of those. It seems to be more like a conversation about how we're wasting our life and we need to do something new. So I don't know how they're going to make that visual story work on stage. The first half of the song, Dion singing on his own. What's Mia gonna do? The way they did it was they used a spotlight, so they put the spotlight on Dion and just kind of had Mia not there. So I wonder if that's what they're planning to do on the stage as well, and just have her wander in at the start of the second verse. I don't know. I feel like they need to come up with some sort of story on the stage, maybe have them sitting at a table having a discussion or something. That's the first thing that came to my head, but you know what I mean. I feel like it needs to explain, if it's not a love song, why is this a duet? Just what's the story? Give it a context. I have to admit now, I'm probably putting this down into my borderline nose. I feel like Malta's gone up and I need to move someone down, and this vocally was just really off. And I think with these slower songs, again, if there's no visual wow to distract us, the harmonies have to be great, the vocals have to be great, and they weren't. I saw this was quite poorly received as well on Dutch television. Okay, also my first time seeing Blanca from Poland. I thought this was fine, like nothing really special. It looked like a slightly smaller version of her performance in the national final, nothing new. I still think this choreography is too basic. She actually said in an interview with Shane, Eurovision Shane, that her favorite Eurovision song ever was Chanel, Slow Mo. So I was kind of thinking, why aren't you doing any dance moves like that then? Her dance moves are so simple and basic. They look very lazy. It's kind of like shoulder shrug, leg up, leg up. I'll show a video here. Just too simple. It looks like they're not bothered. The choreographer didn't bother, or she didn't bother. It just, someone is too lazy to do something. So I just think the choreography could be much higher level. I was hoping last year with Chanel making a lot of breakthrough in choreography, because I follow a lot of dance competitions, like So You Think You Can Dance, where you see this incredible choreography, and I don't feel like we've ever really had that at Eurovision. I feel like a lot of the choreography is quite basic, and Chanel kind of tapped into something last year by exploiting that. You can have incredible choreography. I was hoping more countries would maybe bring that this year, like, wow, choreography is such an untapped resource that we can really use to elevate our performance. This is a really great opportunity with Solo. The song is fine, it's basic, it's summer boppy, very simple, but it could be elevated if they had some like really cool choreo. Even doesn't have to be her, it could be the people behind her, but the choreo is like a little bit like, I'm a rich girl and I don't need to dance for you. That's kind of the energy it's giving, as opposed to like, hey, I'm a fun girl, like I'm gonna hit some amazing moves, I'm an incredible performer. I still think this song is gonna live or die based on Diaspora. Okay, let's quickly go through some of the other songs I've already reacted to before. First up, Gustav from Belgium, amazing, thought it was really great. so many people having vocal issues, and then he came on stage and he had no problems. He was a little bit more active with his two ladies. He named them as well. He's like, this is, I can't remember what they're called, but he introduced them to the crowd. Again, I want to see even more interaction. It's a sisterhood song. I want to see him really like reaching out to his girls. Every single performance of this I've seen has been excellent, and I think that's why he won Eurosong. I actually think in hindsight Belgium made the right decision. Really good performance, good song, great performer. It's just good decision making. He's been so consistent. Even if he doesn't make it, he's put forward a lot of professionalism. Okay, Alika Bridges from Estonia again. Amazing vocals. I think this could be the only ballad we get with just her standing on the stage on her own, which could actually make her stand out. Yeah, vocally she's just incredibly competent. I think this will do exceptionally with the juries if it makes it to the final, assuming the jury criteria is the same as it's been in previous years. Still a tiny bit concerned about the televote, but again, if she stands out and she's different, it'll be fine. She's fourth in the running order, which is not amazing. Fourth is very much, it's becoming the ballad slot recently. Okay, Ireland, Wild Youth, we're 1. Connor had some different sparkly pants on, so they were kind of like rainbow sparkly pants.
We took our first breath.
I do have a feeling we're going to get sparkly pants in Eurovision, which I'm fine with. I think it's kind of like fun. Slightly chaotic energy. Connor was running around a lot. I saw him say on Twitter that he doesn't sing the We Are One bit because he wants the other guys in the band, he thinks they've got great vocals and he wants them to come through at that part. I do think it sounds a little bit empty though when he doesn't sing. You know, he does look like the main lead singer on stage, so if he's not singing the chorus, it does look a tiny bit off. I still think this has got a super outside shot to qualify, but I think it's going to have something really clever. Like, I wanted that when I watched the rehearsal for this. I want to think, oh, that's clever. Oh, that's a clever thing they've done. That, I feel like that's what they need to have a chance to qualify. Something in the staging or the performance style that they go for. Some idea, some bright spark idea that just elevates this. Gives it like a bit of like secret sauce specialness. I need to see that. Otherwise, I just don't think it's got a chance of going through. Again, vocally pretty good. Considering a lot of people had vocal issues, they sounded pretty decent. Another person who sounded amazing vocally was Mimi Cat from Portugal. She came after Netherlands, so there was this element of, okay, did Netherlands have acoustic issues? And then Mimi Cat came on and just absolutely nailed it. The song sounded exactly like the studio version, even better because it had that like realness in the vocals. Just, she's incredible. I'm a little bit concerned though that in these pre-parties she sounds better than everyone because she's such an amazing performer. But when it comes to Liverpool and there's much better technical equipment and everyone starts sounding better, will she lose her edge? Because her edge right now is that she is like probably one of the top 3 best performers out of everybody. For example, if you compare her and Riley now, I know they're in different semis, but like she just wins by Riley 10-0. But when you go to Eurovision and Riley's got a little bit of back singing help and playback and acoustic aids and better hearing and whatnot, is that lead cancelled out? We'll have to wait and see, but as a performer, she definitely deserves to be in the final. She was spectacular again. Lithuania, Monica Linkite stay again, perfect. She's amazing. Amazing performer, great singer. She sang her 2015 song as well, also sounded great. She's confident, she's got a real majestic quality to her. I'm very confident this will go through. I don't think it'll have much of an impact in the final, but I'm pretty confident it'll go through because she's just fantastic. Moldova, Pasha Parfene, another experienced performer who was already in the competition in 2012. I've seen a couple of reactions now with the general public reacting to songs, and this is one of the ones I really like. So again, I'm feeling like this is someone I need to put up into my possible qualifications, but then I need to kick someone else out. I don't know who I'm going to kick out yet. I'll make that decision later. He's just great, and this is an example I said earlier of a good edited down snack size version of his final staging. Also the first time seeing Alessandra from Norway since MGP. I thought she sounded good. I think she lost her voice just towards the end, just before her high note. Overall, I thought that she did really well. This has a really, really loud playback, so this would be very, very hard for her to hear herself. So I think that she actually sang it very well considering that. Good energy on the stage. She was doing some of the choreography that she did from the MGP performance. Yeah, I thought it was fine. It wasn't like wow. I wasn't like, oh my god, this is incredible. I didn't think it was bad either. I thought she was kind of like in the middle of the performances in general. Blanca Paloma did a stripped down version of Ella, so very just her on the stage with a guitarist. Again, she's incredibly talented, really passionate. She's just got a real artistry and intensity to her performance style. Really love this. She's been doing different versions now at each pre-party. So I like that they're kind of like keeping us guessing what will the final version sound like. I would love if they unveiled a Eurovision version as a surprise at the final, and then that'll really give them a lot of like momentum as people are talking about them. Super strong dark horse to do some real damage in Liverpool. I still think it's a dark horse because at this point the televote is the thing I'm a little bit concerned about. So I'm hoping any revamp that she has is televote friendly. That's the one piece of the puzzle I don't see being completed for her to win. Okay, Carpe Diem from Slovenia again. Nothing new to add here from my previous review. Really great, competent band. Good performance. And same with San Marino. Didn't hear too much of a revamp. I thought they sounded good. Again, nothing really new to add. Latvia Southern Lights. I love that he added in a big note just before the choir part. He added this big note. Really like that. I was kind of unsure if that was actually part of his performances before, so I went back to the national final performance and he didn't have it. So this is a new big note, I'm thinking, that comes with it. I really like it. It adds in a little bit of extra impact. Still hoping that Latvia can do something in semi-final number one. Semi-final number one is just awful. There's so many good songs in semi-final number one. There's gonna be some form of heartbreak, definitely. So Mae Muller for the UK. When we saw her before in the Barcelona Pre-Party, she was a little bit sick, her voice wasn't great. This sounded better, it's not totally there. She still needs to work on her vocals a little bit more. I think they may have to go for the strategy of her being quite still and everyone dancing around her, because I think she does need to focus on what her vocals are like. I think she needs to be more on a treadmill as well, just practicing the song, get that cardio even better. But I love the energy on the stage, the four dancers. Sometimes their dancing was a little bit goofy, like they're doing like fake crying and then lots of crowns. I think the crown thing is possibly a little bit overdone. We have seen it like quite a lot now recently, but overall I just love the energy and the happiness and the bounciness. It's a great way to close the show. And then finally Eero from Georgia. Yeah, still great. She was wearing a different outfit today. It was a red one. Nothing really new to add. I still think that last 30 seconds is incredible. Very much looking forward to her staging in Liverpool. Okay, that was way too many people. That's what I thought about the 27 acts who performed at the Madrid Pre-Party. Don't forget to keep an eye out for that video where I talk about the potential winners of Eurovision, hopefully tomorrow or the day after. If you want to see some more review and analysis videos, I will leave them here. So give those a delicious little click. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching. See another Eurovision Pre-Party review very soon. Goodbye. Blah, 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 blah.